to the NSL Offseason podcast.
1. Hey, I'm Caleb Freeland. Welcome back. We're here on episode 3 talking to the guys from the USA. Tristan from East Coast Energy. Thank you so much for hopping on here, man.
Going on, dog. Thank you for calling me. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So basically what we've been doing kind of up to this point, I've just talked to people about their previous season, and now that we're in the off season, and then we're going to jump over and talk a little bit about the 2024 season. So let's start with 2023. You guys played a lot of matches this season. Can you just walk us through a little bit of your season from start to finish?
Okay, so the first event was Indy, right? Played horrible. We finished like 11th, I think.
A little bit of
Sorry?
I was just like a little bit of a awakening call for the format and sport, I guess.
Yeah, we thought we were like super prepared going in, and then Indy happened, and we were like, oh, we have no idea what we're doing. So we had to like really redefine kind of what was happening in practice, and then what we were looking at in footage. That definitely changed a lot in terms of like how we studied, how we prepared. And then Tampa rolled around. We ended up placing 4th, and that was like, we were pretty hard on ourselves about that one because it was a lot of inexperience and immature mistakes that we made in Tampa, and it really felt like we lost to ourselves that event. And then after Tampa, we had the Rhode Island seeding event, and we won that one. Thankfully, that one went well. We went 10-0 at that one, which is great. And then because I feel like in Tampa, we knew exactly what was going wrong after it happened. So we would make a mistake or something in the game would happen that wouldn't pan out the way we wanted to, and we would instantly know what was wrong. And we knew that if we took all that experience from Tampa and if we learned our mistakes, then we would be fine in Rhode Island. And we are literally our biggest enemy when it comes to being on the field. And I'm sure that goes for a lot of teams as well. And then Rhode Island happened, went 10-0 for that, and that was great. And then we had like a 3-month break before the championship, and we were working a lot, studying a lot, practicing a lot before the championship, and we ended up winning that one. And that one was great.
I mean, that's huge. It's like the perfect example of a ladder climb throughout the season because, start out, we're like, all right, let's figure this out. And like you said, at Tampa, you could identify the issues, but it's the speed that really helps these high-performance teams when they're able to figure something out between 2 points on the field is really where you're going to find these players excel.
Yeah, it's tough. It just takes one mistake and the entire game changes, you know?
Well, I mean, it was so exciting to see you guys, top out first and be able to go overseas. Speaking of which, you're like one of the only teams to go overseas for globals. You were representing USA in a sense. Congratulations again. I believe you guys got 4th place on the event. Can you encapsulate a little bit of what the energy is like going into globals, because there's probably no other event that touches that. I feel like Nations Cup may get close, but like it's different when you're playing with your homeboys.
Nations Cup was dope because of like the magnitude of it. You know, you had all these other players coming in that the whole season you just play against them. You know, you really have no chemistry with them, so it has to be a very distinct decision between all players that we're going to come together and really win this and do it for, a cause bigger than us. And then for globals, you kind of go out with all the guys that you learned with throughout the year, and now you're playing against other teams that are not just random people anymore, forming one team. This is everybody's team they've played with all year. They practice with every week, so definitely a heavier tournament to compete in my opinion, than it was in the Nations Cup in terms of like gameplay and how you had to approach certain games, because everybody was way more organized and teams had a lot more synergy and chemistry with each other. You know, so Globals was crazy.
I also felt too, just from like a spectator's perspective, maybe Nations Cup felt a lot more like camaraderie between the teams, and then it was like Globals is like, we're here to win. Like,
yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like, you show up at Globals and everybody's like just going for blood. Like, nobody is nobody's friend out there.
Well, that's pretty interesting to be able to get the perspective on it. Also, you talked a little bit about Nations Cup. What was it like to get to represent your country for a sport that, I mean, this was the first opportunity I think the U.S. has ever had to do something like that in Airsoft.
Yeah, it was insane. Like, being there, like, it was honestly, like, the whole thing was just like a great honor. For me, and I'm sure I speak for the rest of the players on Nations Cup, that we had a lot of pride, you know, being the first team to be able to do it, but also just in general getting to represent your country in like pretty much anything, you know, aside from just like Airsoft is like a huge accomplishment for someone. And we definitely felt the magnitude of that situation. Like, it felt like we really were playing for the whole country, you know. A lot of people were rooting for us, and we were really grateful for it. It was tough, but it was such a great experience. It was awesome. Super grateful.
I'd say now that you've done it, I feel like you bring a unique perspective for USA, whether one, you choose to do it again, or two, you look into a coaching position or something. I remember you guys talking that everybody was spaced out across the US, so you didn't get the opportunity to practice together, but now you have at least one or two guys that have played in the Nations Cup all across the U.S. So there's that opportunity for you to coach whoever if you're not the person representing next year. Is that something that you and TJ might? Or no, was it TJ or Zeus that represented from you?
Both.
Oh, both. So you guys got
three
we
guys.
Had
all three of us.
So do you think that's something that you'll partake in?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to play again next year, and but even if other players get chosen, then that's great, because you know that opportunity it's not to be taken lightly. But I think players in the community it's really dope experience to get to fly out overseas and play for your country. It's really dope, and so it'd be nice if other guys from my team get the opportunity. If I'm not the one that's picked, then that's totally cool, because like you said, we have that experience, so we could pass on the knowledge of what to expect. Thankfully, what helps for our team is that if we do have players picked from our team, they've already gotten a taste of what it's like to be in Europe already, in that whole scene. So it does kind of help us a little bit to have players go over. So like passing on, there's like so many different things out there that doesn't apply to the US. Europeans, they don't play the game the same. The field isn't the same. The weather isn't the same. Like, there's so many, the time change, like there's a lot of things that apply to, flying over there, specifically being from the US and having to like perform at a high level. You have to really lock in for a while. And Nations Cup is 3 days. Globals was only 2. And you had 2 practice days before that. So you play for 5 days straight when you're over there playing for Nations Cup, like all day long. So we like hopped off the plane and then went straight to Real Strike, instantly suited up, like had no nap time, no food time, no nothing. We went straight to the field and played for like hours. And I had to do that the next 4 days in a row.
You guys, I remember somebody mentioning too, though, it wears on your body differently. I mean, you've already hit the topic that everything's different there, but playing for 5 days in a row is no easy task.
Yeah, no, it's not. Honestly, what helps a lot is that United States players are so used to concrete that when you get on turf, it's a lot easier to manage I wouldn't say like injuries, but like the condition of your body is managed a lot better because their turf is, I believe it's on sand. Like there's sand underneath their turf, so it absorbs a lot of impact a lot better. In the US, like you play like 3 full days out on concrete and like your body feels it for sure. Turf is a little less. You're a little bit just more like tired overall as opposed to feeling like you're necessarily in pain.
I got you. It's an interesting, just a variable in the game. Just changes from facility to facility. Even around here, it's weird to say this, but like there's different concretes. Like you go to the different facilities, and it's like, that concrete's like sanded smoother, but this one's like polished, and then this one's like coated in something. So even like within the concretes, it seems like there's a different variable.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when you start playing Airsoft, you don't think that like you'll get nitpicky over like little things like that, but then you start like being like, all right, I like the concrete like at Extreme better. Or you can be like, I like the concrete at CIA better. You know, like it really is just like depends on the player. It's like preference.
To the people that haven't played it, they just don't know, and it's like, yeah, it does make a big difference. I wanted to make a transition. So we've talked all about the season now. Let's talk about off season. Are you guys still talking to each other, or are you kind of like on a, hey, I've been with you guys for like 7 tournaments, just leave me alone for a couple weeks?
Nah, like it's like I don't know how other teams operate, but like we're all actually like friends in real life. Like so like it does help. So like I'll still play video games with the guys. We're still in the group chat talking all the time. I work with TJ, Nick, and Matt here at Extreme, so I see them multiple times throughout the week. Hollywood, we still talk to him all the time. Like all the guys, Zach, everyone, regular, like Ryan, we still see them all the time. So it is like a good camaraderie that we got going on.
That's awesome. Definitely helps, with the group gelling well. Is there any off-season conditioning that you guys do? I remember you guys posting a lot that you do a lot of training and conditioning for the season. So I didn't know if that you just keep it rolling, or if you kind of take that Christmas hiatus thing.
Well, we are taking some time off only to really study and watch the footage, sit with the footage that we have and that we received, through lives and all that stuff. Really think about mostly focusing on the things that went well, but then hyper focusing on the things that didn't go well. So a lot of right now is just like studying and like mentally preparing for when practices start again, and then getting everybody in the gym, really starting to go hard for next season.
I think it really shows too, though, that for the big dogs in the game are the guys that are taking the time to train, study, and exercise. Treat your body and your mind alike. That's really where your performance shows up from.
Yeah, it's tough because last year we had played Indy, Tampa, Rhode Island, and in the championship we had 4 NSL events that we played in. We didn't play in SAC. And then we had, me, TJ, Nick had Nations Cup, and then we all had globals. So like 6 tournaments, and then we played a CSL. Some of us played more CSLs than the others. I got the opportunity to play in a SpeedQB event. So we had like a decent amount of tournaments last year. I've only ever competed 7 times. So next year, we definitely have to prepare more because it's going to be a decent amount of events. With NSL, CSL, SpeedQB, it's going to be a lot going on. So we have to make sure everybody is like physically and mentally prepared.
And financially, if you're playing that many tournaments.
I don't even want to talk about that right now, bro.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That's a whole different topic of conversation. It's like,
all right, well,
that's
you talked about looking back at the footage, but they have released next year's layout. I don't know if you've gotten the chance to look at this. I have it pulled up here. What's your takes on it since you've gotten the chance to look at it so far? So
we actually already moved the field to this layout. So we've been able to play it a little bit. I've been able to like ref it a few times and practice here and there on it. Very, very interesting.
That's kind of what the vibe I've been getting from everybody is like, we're still figuring it out. It seems interesting. We're just trying to make it work.
Yeah. It's more what I don't know if other players concur, but I mean, I didn't come to this realization because I never played paintball, but Nick Zeus, who's on our team, he played a lot of paintball growing up. He said it feels more like he's playing on a paintball field than he is an airsoft field. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if other players feel that way, but that's what he said.
Yeah, I mean,
it has a very interesting flow to it.
That's
very strange map.
That's pretty across the board. I feel like I remember talking to Jaeger, and he had mentioned it's like the snake is very like in and out or like highway-esque, but then you have your snake side, your Dorito side, which is pretty common to paintball. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on the snake being broken up, I would say, versus all connected? Because there was only like 3 points of entry or exit in the 2023 season of the snake. So now that you can literally hop in or out at every single bunker, that's got to change the pacing on that side.
Yeah, it's interesting because now you can actually have like real snake battles. Before you can get into snake and kind of I wouldn't say like hide, but at least position yourself properly so that you're not in like direct fire. But there's no real places to hide on this snake. It's going to show, who really has what snake players have good gun skill, what snake players have good pace and timing. And then also it's going to be important to see how those back players play on the snake side to help assist their snake players. So before it was tough on the 2023 layout because you had a Dorito back there and you can you couldn't really see down snake at all because you had the ref tower 50.
Right. Yeah.
So now that you have a tower in the middle, it kind of changes up how the back snake player and the actual snake player have to connect and work throughout each match. It's going to be interesting to see how that snake side plays. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how well these back players do just in terms of staying alive, because if they're shooting over the top to also, you got that turret position from home, and he's got a clear shot on that corner, so you're really going to have to coordinate with your teammate, one, to not shoot him in the back, but two, to just keep him alive.
Yeah, and that home position is interesting. It's like I don't know how refs are gonna like manage like what's a hit and what's a ricochet. It's gonna be like tough. Yeah, like there's gonna be so many BBs in that area, just like flying in, that like if you're a ref at that spot, like you have to be on it because there's gonna be a lot of ricochets, a lot of actual hits. You have to make sure you're paying attention. It's tough.
Yeah, it'll be something, man. I'm pretty excited, though.
It's going to be dope. I like that Castle's moved to Plexi side and stuff. They kind of like move some things. Castle's no longer by Snake.
Yeah. That's something that's been kind of around for like multiple years. It's just, Castle's always on that side.
Yeah. Then taking the two X's, putting them together, make its own unique bunker right by the 50 tower.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And these U's, I think they're almost harmful on your side versus beneficial, because they don't protect you, they protect opponent when they come in, and it's an easy zone too.
Last season they were turned the opposite way, if I'm not mistaken. So you kind of had protection moving up. You can't just like slide into these like you were able to before. So it's a very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, and
I'm excited.
I feel like Oh,
I
sorry.
do
Go
like that
ahead.
there's 2 Doritos facing forward.
Oh yeah, these guys here.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. What were you about to say?
I was gonna say, I feel like this layout will favor the aggressive, just because there's not. I mean, there's stuff in the back, but there's not a whole lot. But I always notice players getting down real low off break, and on this right side, there is nothing to hit except for this little gap right here if you're down low. So I can see players coming around here, getting low, getting all the way up to the U, and then coming in on the inside, but it would just depend on, what the opponent's doing on that Dorito side. But
it's all timing.
Yeah. There's some other
That's all what it
things
comes down to.
I wanted to mention. We got an announcement from the GOAT, man.
Yes, sir.
Say he's stepping down from the tacos to help run the US thing. I'm pretty excited to see what he has in store to help put on these events. But I'm curious, you're a player, so what's your take on it?
I love it, man. I know it was like a really, really hard decision for him to, have to step away from tacos. But, Adam is a really selfless guy. He's a great human being. I got the opportunity to be coached by him for Nations Cup. So he was a big reason as to why I came to Europe and was able to represent for the US, and just getting to know him better over there. And then he came for EA Fest that we had in Extreme recently. He's a really, really solid dude. So, I really think that that's the best person in the US that could really take over, and I'm happy for him. And like I said, I know stepping down from tacos was tough, but he's a really forward thinker, and he really does love NSL, and he cares about, the sport, and he cares about players. So seeing him put that amount of effort that he put into, making tacos as great as they are, seeing him do that for, everyone, I think is going to be super beneficial for the US. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
I got faith in it. That's my dog.
Yeah, I have faith in him as well. You mentioned Extreme. I keep wanting to say East Coast Energy. It slides off the tongue well. You mentioned Extreme Airsoft. You guys are hosting Globals next year, from my understanding, which is a huge deal. I mean, how hyped are you guys about that?
We're so excited. We can't wait. Just having all of the mix of cultures and stuff just in one building. We've never had, players from Belgium. We've never had players from the Netherlands and all this stuff really come out and all play with their own respective teams on this field. It's going to be so dope. And I'm excited to see how they play on concrete. We got to play on turf and see, but now, they gotta come out here and have some concrete. I know some of them have in some selective tournaments, but we'll see how they do. It's going to be dope.
For sure. And I mean, you mentioned all sorts of cultures, not just from country aspect of it, but gameplay style too, because Extreme Airsoft has one. I haven't yet play on it, but you guys have a crazy indoor facility, man. You guys are spoiled rotten, man. It kills me to know.
Yeah, we are, bro. we are and we aren't. We are because we get to reap the benefits of how great this place is, but a lot of us are actually here building all of this stuff. So if we want something to get done at Extreme and we have a new project, then we're some of the first ones that are here every single day. Building the new store, we were here every single day. Moving the field around, moving buildings and all this stuff, and we were here every day. The new parents lounge that now looks into the speed field, so now you have another view as a kind of box seats, if you want to call it that. We were here every day, just working, so it's a lot of hard work to reap the benefits of all this stuff, but at the end of the day, we do get to use it all the most and enjoy it. But at the end of the day, it's not really for us, it's not for ECE. It's for everybody else who comes to Extreme and everybody else in the community who wants to come to EA Fest and any NSL event, CSL, BQB. This is for you guys. This is gonna live longer than all of us are here for. It's for the kids, man. It's for the kids.
that's heartwarming to know that there's so many people care about the sport, but like just putting the love and care into the facility. I understand going to your field and working, and you can see that instant gratification of when you finish something and people just come in and like immediately start. It's like, I want to play that new bunker or something. It's like, hey, we built awesome. That.
I know. It's like our second home. Like if a bunker gets messed up or anything, we're like, damn, bro, I spent so much time making that bunker. Or it's like, if anything goes wrong, like it hurts a little bit. We're like, dang. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty much hit on all the things I wanted to talk about. You guys have social media though. I know I have your East Coast Energy page pulled up. I have your page pulled up as well. Feel free to, plug the people, your social medias and whatever, so that they can follow you guys in the 2024 season.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow us on our journey, follow eastcoast.energy. That's our Instagram. And on our Instagram, you'll find all of our personal Instagrams. If you have a favorite player or just a player you want to check out, or anyone, we're going to start updating it soon. We are revising it currently to get ready for the next season. If you want to follow our home field, it's just Extreme Airsoft on Instagram as well. Yep, right there. And that's where we play at. That's where a lot of other great teams play at. We got Infamous as a home team, NGSS, OTG, Bayside Breezy. We got some good home teams. So if you want to check them out as well, definitely, give them a look. But we have like a lot of dope stuff going on.
Yeah, you guys are constantly really playing speed, soft of some form or fashion. So the facility is always there for people that are wanting to get those games in. You guys are constantly posting like on social media. You can see here even like their weekly schedules on what's going on. So if you're wondering what they're doing, you can definitely figure it out really quick by going to their Instagram. You have an Instagram.
We always have the weekly schedule up every time. We always have the weekly schedule up for gaming, for the East Arena, for the City Arena. We always have like ops coming up, always cool dope events going on in Extreme. So if you ever want to check out any of that stuff, like any scheduling, you can always either check the Instagram or you can check the website, extremeairsoftri.com, I believe it is. And then if you want to buy anything airsoft related, extremeairsoftri.com. It's like we have so much stuff, that you guys could buy and check out. We have gaming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Also, all of this stuff at Extreme and, the airsoft scene in the Northeast of the United States really wouldn't be possible without Danielle or Lenny and the Extreme staff that are here. They put in a lot of work, and, they're 14 years in of, really grinding and figuring out what works and what doesn't, and, trial and error with the field and, making it better. And, Danielle and Lenny don't get as much praise as they deserve, but without them, none of this would be possible. They do a lot for us, and so there's a lot of love that we have for them and the community has for them. They're really, really important out here.
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, even the short time that I've come to meet them at Globals, they warmed, welcomed me in open arms and let me stay with them, and it really feels like a family get together. And even when I came for US championships, they let me stay at their place, and it's never been like there's no thought behind it. It's just like a servant's heart kind of thing, and they just immediately go into action to help. So I wish the best success for them, because they're just such a nice couple, and they really do a lot for this community.
So if you want to come play 4 days out of the week, you are allowed to.
Awesome stuff, man. Thank you so much for hopping on with me to chat, and I wish you guys the best of luck in 2024. I'm sure you guys are going to put on quite a show for us.
I'm excited, bro. It's so weird. Like I always say this when I see you in person, so I feel like I'm like watching a YouTube video every time I hear you talk, because I'm so used to just like watching footage. Like when I hear you talk in real life, I'm like, wow, you're really him. That's crazy. This is like really your voice.
That's weird to hear.
Awesome,
I don't
man.
know how to handle that. But
You're awesome, bro. You're a legend.
well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And we'll thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.